Yeah, I've never been heartbroken, and I've been and I've been told it's necessary. But I feel like you can live a life and not be heartbroken.
I'm telling you, we can talk to 100 men, and 99.5 of them will say they have had their heart broken.
I think you definitely need to get your heart broken, and I hope it happens to you because, sorry, not in a bad way, but I think that Nairobians keep saying that character development is very important. You're not going to find your wife. She's not the next, you don't know if it's the next chick you date, right? There's no way you can be certain. It's not on you to say.
Affirmations, guys. What's going on?
No, it doesn't work. Yeah, true. Yeah, let's manifest, but chances are, like, if we're being realists, chances are, you know, the next person you decide to date, actually, I feel like you need to start dating now and actively, just so that you rule out, not as many, I don't know how many people you are, but just rule out just the few people before you meet the one. But you might be the lucky one.
You might be the exception.
You might be the exception. That's the thing.
It's for a reason, right?
It's actually possible. Yeah. So you do your thing, but like out here, statistically speaking, the chances are, you know, but who knows? You could be that one exception. So go for it. But I would advise you and say, I think you need to start dating.
I'm just jealous.
Oh,
I wish I didn't have to go through what I went through.
What did you learn? What was like the main thing? Because you've talked about like egos being crushed and changed. What was your like? Because I want to take your lesson and apply it without the heartbreak. It's for selfish reasons.
Imagine, I don't know if it's possible. You know, they say the world is the only one that can teach you these things. But what did I learn from my heartbreaks?
Oh, plural.
That's Phoenix.
Yeah, I know. It was. I mean, I've had, you know, relationships, but then there's just these two that those ones were the ones that just.
Yeah.
I learned that no matter how hard you try there's no amount of love towards somebody that can make them stay. Even letting them go. Because you think if you let them go, maybe they'll come back. If they're done, they're done. And acceptance of that is a very, very bitter pill to swallow if you're still in love with the other person.
Like Jules, you've spoken to me. Wow, let me tell you. Anyway, keep going. I will not stop you.
I learned that there's no amount of books you can read or talks you can listen to that can teach you how to be the best version of yourself for a certain partner. Because one book will say, 90 days. And then another one will say, profess, protect, provide. And then another one will say, but then on the ground, I mean, things are so different. So there's no amount of information that you can have out there, books you can read and whatever to make sure everything's perfect. At the end of the day, you present yourself and you come as Eli with your traumas and your whatevers. This person comes with their own baggage. And by baggage, I don't mean kids, baby mamas. I mean trauma, your individual whatevers. There is no amount of books that you'll come there, and yes, those will help you. They'll soften the blow of things. Like issues, coping mechanisms, coping mechanisms, communication skills. But at the end of the day, you learn on the job. So there's no amount of books. There's no amount of. At the end of the day, it's just like, man, I thought I learned this from this relationship. Why is it here? I thought I learned. It's like everything is individual and different. Yes, there are lessons you'll carry, but you just have to. It's like the exam is there. There's no prep. Me, that's
they say that time is the only healing factor. Is it?
It's time. It's not. I don't think so, because there are women who are still heartbroken about the same person a year later, and they are still talking about how did she do this, how did he do this. It's not time. It's you It's you saying, no, I need to heal. Like I've left it and I've let it go. Yeah, man. I'm just, I'm envious. Me, I just feel like I have relationship trauma.
Yeah,
I wish I never had heartbroken. Because it sucks, man. Yeah. But there's no one there's so many lessons, but those are the two at the top of
Lornzie, what are your lessons?
head.
What are your lessons? Teach us about heartbreak. Tell us when you had, when you said never again. And you did it successfully.
Well, hey, it was a while back though. Like,
Have you never got heartbroken after that time?
Babe Z, I've always been the top.
Come on.
Even those ones that ended, your heart was not broken.
No, I was also the one who ended it or something. But that, you guys, it was like really bad. I think also at that point I wasn't as emotionally mature. So I even lost, I think, like 10 kgs, you guys. Like actively, like my mom came and told me, yo, I can see you're not okay. How can I help? And I was pretty damaged because I realized I also gave my all to this guy, which don't do that. Or you can't help yourself. You can't help yourself. That's the thing. You can't help it. But if you can, you should try to avoid damage. Anyway, he was like my breakfast, lunch, dinner. He was the calories I needed to live life. Anyway, I just put him too high up. So it really destroyed me in the end. And I think my lesson there was basically that, like, it's, first of all, it's never gonna be rosy. There's no one out here even that you see on IG. People have problems. Relationships are hard. They're really hard. And yeah, just don't give all your heart. Just give. Yeah, use your head more than your heart. That's what I would say. Just think about the things if you can help it. But I think that's why I see, like, you need your heart broke so that you can start also almost thinking in that way. Like, because what are you, like, where are your lessons you get that will help you in, the next? Because it's about the lessons, right? They're the stepping stones to your next relationship. How are you going to fix your next relationship if in the last one, there was never really anything to fix for you? You came out of it perfect, or unscathed, how do you say it? Yeah, you get.
Because like theory versus practical, you can know all this stuff, but until you've lived it, it might be tough.
There was... You guys have taken me somewhere where I thought I was okay.
Triggered.
But absolutely, like, I'm actually thinking about it. It's like the one thing I'd advise anyone who's like going through heartbreak is like, and that time thing, like, going back to the question you asked about time, is the only way you can get over a situation is like, I realized it and now I've lived it, so now I can say it, is you must put so much distance, whether it's emotional intelligence, physical wellness, your own personal knowledge, your own financial stability. You must put so much distance between the knowledge and the person you are when that instance happened and the person you are now. And you must constantly develop yourself, because the thing about heartbreak is that it never really ends. It's just that thing that you can look back with less pain. And you go like, yeah, it happened, it's painful, but like it's contributed to who I am today because you've successfully integrated it into yourself. That's the only way like you'll ever be able to get, because if you genuinely, truly, completely loved someone, you every day, especially the first 10, may I remember it like yesterday, the first few weeks will be hell, because like the thing about, especially I always find like beautiful women or women who are attractive is that they will always find someone who they can spend time with, and if they're attracted to them, their life goes on and they owe you nothing. Like everyone here is living their life. So those beautiful memories that you made, yeah, that's nice. That's to be shared. But if you want to get over like a situation, you have to put the work in to understand it and evolve past it. Otherwise, it'll keep repeating itself. And that's like, and I learned that like back then, like 2-3 years ago, when I say back then. But it's that thing for, you'll keep meeting the same type of person over and over
oh my gosh.
and over again.
Yeah.
If you don't evolve past that thing, if you don't go, let me analyze the situation, let me look at it painfully and take the lessons and make sure that I have a framework as to what works for me and what doesn't, like the way she did, for example. Because ever since she got what she told herself was never again. So she created a framework as to, check this out. This guy has this. Nah, sorry. I already know where this is going. Until that's the first thing that Lornzie said was, I know what I want exactly. And then on top of that, I was heartbroken before. So it means that that framework that she's developed has come from that instance of impact. And the more she worked on that framework, the more she also like molded herself. And for me personally, the more I worked on that framework, the more I molded myself as well. The more, and you've seen it as well, like even with the quality of women in my life as we've continued to work on Mantalk.
Hello.
Yeah, hey, it's a humble flex, but like the quality of, yeah, like I'm sitting next to Lornzie and Jules. I'm a happy man. Like the quality of women in my life and the interactions that I'm having are just increasing in quality as I work on myself as a man. When I look back at a heartbreak now, it's like, I was cute, but what's coming might be better. Yeah.
So the question, what I've just learned from you, this has been so selfish of me. I'm just taking it from the lesson I've learned in terms of when I mentioned the time thing, not to make it very morbid, but the only thing I can equate it to is coping with death, right? So like it never gets okay, but you can't learn from it, but it never gets okay. But as time goes further, you just learn to go every day. It's happened. Okay, it's painful.
It's painful.
Every day. And 10 years time, you're like, it's still painful, but I can wake up every morning, etc.
Yeah, you have to keep pushing.
Or is that too dramatic?
Yeah, it's sorry.
Go ahead, please.
I think it's okay. It's almost the same, but it's not exactly the same, because I feel like with relationships, you will always. It's not like death where no time can, but with relationships, there will come a time, no matter how long you take or how short you take, there will come a time where you look back, you'll even laugh, and you'll be like, but for real though, what was I doing there? That that was all on me. I should have done this. But you see, with death, you never get to it. It's always about the what ifs, or if they were still here. But yeah, it's there's a lot that those two have in common, but it's not as ultimate as death.
Initially, I guess the impact.
Yeah.
But you see, the thing is, death, they're gone. But when somebody is still alive and they've moved on, and it's even worse when they haven't moved on, they just don't want to be with you. And you still love them, man. You still miss them.
Must be hell.
And then they just go out and then like, a month later, they've moved in with somebody else, and then they're getting married, and it's like, what? So you're repeating. It's like it doesn't end. It's another heartbreak. So you keep hearing something. I don't know.
Still keeps
That's what I'm saying. You have to evolve. You have to especially if you're a man. Let me tell you, because you have to evolve. Like you have, and the worst thing about it is that if you're a guy and for me, my personality is it's a bit dominant, right? So in my friend group, I was the one who was like, hey, this is the guy for doing things, but that thing, when it breaks you down, your friends at first they're like, guy, but it's taken him. Then they're watching guy, where will it end? And if you don't have the right safety net, imagine they'll watch you burn yourself. You literally burn yourself. But then if you have the right type of support networks, they'll pull you up and tell you, okay, bro, it happens to everyone. We need to man up. We need to do this. Let's keep going. But if you don't have that support network, now that's when you start seeing, and of course you will take in, I feel some lessons you learn from experience, but you have to actually evolve out of the situation as a guy. Because if you stay there,
sounds like hell.
It's hell. You literally have to evolve out of the situation. Because as a guy, you'll keep she will post herself. That passenger seat photo. That thing. Yeah, that passenger seat photo where she's new year, new me. You'll see things like those. You'll see that Malindi trip where she's in the beach. Tripod imetoka wapi? Where's the tripod?
There's a shadow.
Yeah, where's the tripod? But then she's there living life. That time you're literally in the seventh circle of hell. Because you know exactly. Because it's probably even the same place that you took her. You probably know that those things that you taught her, those little things that you taught her, there it is. Those little things.
Sorry, this guy pressed the trigger.
Yeah, those little things are now someone's. So basically, you are a stepping stone, and you have to take it like a guy. You have to take it, and if you don't take it, and then especially for guys, if you're like I said, if your personality is dominant, now her friends are like, oh, Aki, I'm so sorry. But don't worry, Oscar, you'll move on. It usually happens. And then okay, what happened? And they know exactly what happened. But then they just ask just because they want to irritate. So you have to go through those microaggressions for years. Among your own peers, you have to be it was for me, I'm telling you. But when I came out of it, I was like, wait, I was like you. I was like, this is the framework. Never again. This is the framework.
It took a while to get there. It was just but I still believe in I'll be heard 1,000 times.
And you see, I think that's the problem with society even now. Why you guys are, you take it way harder. Even just the way you said, you take it like a guy. You see, such phrases have they're just disadvantageous to the male person. So we have a lot of work to do.
Yeah, and then there's that thing that I also wanted to ask about, why is it that I'm seeing that more women are happier being in relationships with, especially if the guy is financially stable, emotionally stable. I'm seeing a lot of women are happier being I'm the second wife, I'm the second girlfriend or third girlfriend, and they're okay with it. Why do you think that's happening? I just wanted to know, because we're getting a lot of questions as Mantalk about open relationships, hypergamous relationships, polygamous relationships. So could you assist me with your vast experience in the field?
So those are two things. So there's polyamory there.
Yeah.
or open relationships.
Exactly.
Or ethically non-monogamous relationships.
Okay.
And then there's the woman who's being kept and she's just a side piece, but she knows.
And she's happy.
And she's okay with that.
Yeah, I've never understood the psychology because we're over here overworking attachment, thinking about heartbreak, thinking about things to look out for in a relationship.
Yeah.
But like, what do you think is the rationale of the women who are actually okay with it? I am also asking for very selfish reasons.
You know what? Honestly, a sociology report or something needs to be done on that, like a study.
Yeah.
But me just looking, I feel like, listen, we're in a developing country, and resources are thin and little. Okay, there's a lot of people here suffering, and social media I think has made things worse because it just keeps showing you over and over again where you're not.
Yeah.
Because you're seeing, oh, this is what Jules is doing. Oh, this is what so and so is doing, and then there's a guy here there's a jibaba here with a lot of money who's like, I'll set you up nicely. I come see you 3-4 times a week. If you want a baby, I'll give you a baby. But, I think for some women, it's just a way out of poverty. I might be wrong, but that's just my observation. Yeah, that's just there could be many reasons, but the best people to ask are those women.
Yeah.
Good answer.
I used to judge, but now I empathize.
Yeah, even me, I empathize because at the end of the day, maybe there's one woman who she knows she's a side, but she has money, but she's like she has tried and she's not found love.
Yeah.
And the only guy she's able to find who even gives her a bit of attention is a guy who's married. So she's like, you know what? Let me just at least my emotional and physiological needs are being met.
Yeah.
Psychological needs are being met by this relationship. If this is how it's coming, that's how it's coming.
It might also be physiological. Hey, you never know.
Yeah, physiological is which one?
Yeah, nerves, the nerve body and the physical body.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
For me, what I would say about that is just like Julia is saying, I have begun to empathize because you don't know the traumas an individual has suffered. Maybe this individual, that's how the mom has raised them. Like maybe the mom has always been a side chick, so for her, that's the situation. My mom has always been wife number 2, and even me growing up, I don't even know how the wife number 1 leaves, so I will be wife number 2. But what I will say is this: there's a lot of women as well who have plain decided to be lazy. Umelipiwa shule na your parents. You if you really analyze this human being's life, you honestly cannot see why she has chosen to do that. And I feel like there's actually a lot of that kind of women. And then like Julia is saying, social media, like us guys when we were back in uni, it wasn't like that. Like Facebook, it was Facebook, and then I don't even know when WhatsApp
like comment share.
WhatsApp
IG came, and I always say time and again, if TikTok came before IG, things would be much more different, because TikTok is so real. You actually see people's real lives, how they're working, how someone is experiencing death, how someone is people passing on their personal true messages and on TikTok. But then we started with Instagram, which is basically what we see. Visual. Like I'm taking a picture in a BMW. I am at Milan taking brunch every Sunday, when essentially you can't afford it. It's you go there for the men who are there to pay for that for you, and even the men who are doing that themselves can't afford it. So it's just created this crazy world, and it's basically like, I think TikTok was made to, it's all about being viral, becoming viral, being famous. That's what TikTok rode on, or is riding on. Like that one video that can make you go viral, make you go famous, And it's very different from Instagram. And I feel that, going back to that, I just feel there's also a huge chunk of women who are just lazy, and they're like, that person, let me go eat their money because I'm not satisfied with mine, or let me collectively eat all these different men's money so that I have more. It's just some people are like that, but also some people, it's just all they know. They don't know any other.
I think the shame is that, and I think it's with anything in society, right? If you're looking at somebody doing that, they both have the same result, but the means to get there is different. Some are justified, some aren't. But unfortunately, when you're looking at the end result, you can only paint it with one brush. You can't really paint it with two. So same for those ladies. Final question. You've sort of touched on social media. If there's any two people that could talk about it, it's you, right? I've even noticed the tat here, the over 25 tat. As you were talking about social media.
You were very
I said, and there's a tat. So just a final question, because we ended up talking about Heartbreak, because it was thrilling. One of the things I want to give value to for people, because I think they've learned a lot about how to handle it, is now the digital space that you've mentioned. You guys have been doing social media for a long period of time. So I want you to leave with telling people one tip, because if people don't know you, they don't know where they've been, right? One tip for growing with your friends on social media, because me and Oscar are very new in the game. So again, selfish reasons. So what's one tip that you wish somebody told you when you said, I want to start a channel, monetize it, make money with my friends? Like, what's one thing you wish someone said? Before you do that, think about this. Yeah.
Because you're focusing on with my friends, not just starting.
Exactly.
Specifically with friends, have your paperwork done before. And I mean agreements. Who does what? Who is being paid what? Based on what? If somebody has put in the initial investment, the equipment, whatever. So how much are they being paid when the revenue comes in? When the revenue comes in, what's the split like? What's the role of this one? Who is the final decider on creative direction, on finance, on whatever? Have those things earlier. When you do them later, it's a very uncomfortable and awkward conversation, because the dynamics have changed. Like the audience has grown, you know. Like you're doing it later, and then it's like, oh, okay.
Skin in the game.
So it's like, oh, you want to be paid more because you did this, but even me, I contribute. But no, I've been doing this for all this time. You know, you don't want to do that. Just have your stuff, line your stuff before. Yeah, because once money starts coming in, if you guys don't already have a solid friendship underneath, the money can really change things.
Noted paperwork, buddy.
Do it now. Aki, don't wait for next week.
But that's done.
It's done. Good for you.
You, my dear.
Just exactly like Julia said, treat it as a business from the beginning. Because you are actually going into it to make money. And I think why Over 25 is different is it just literally started the other way. We had no intention of it becoming a business. It was just a thing. Julia came and was like, I've been seeing guys doing this thing. Why don't we try it? And we did it, and it became a thing. And I think, we came in at the exact right time when we, people found us necessary. People were like, now are like, we are the big sisters. So we fill the space like at the perfect time. But, as we grew, we grew so fast that when we realized people are actually starting to ask for our rate card to, we were still not in that space mentally. So like 2 years in is where we were like, okay, guys, so we actually need to go and open this like officially. Unless it just starts as something as fun. Like Julia is saying, just make it official from the beginning. Like any business, go sit down, decide what it is you want to do with the business. Like discuss your future, discuss how you're going to split the money that comes in, put all that in writing, make sure your company is an actual company, and you'll be okay.
Okay, formalized. Nice. Do you want to do the standard?
The standard what? The standard final question. Yeah, first of all, I have to compliment these ladies for touching me in my soul. Hey, you've touched me in my soul, guys. Let me not lie. I've learned a lot from this podcast. You've taken me to a place I haven't been in a long time.
Sorry, do you need some aftercare?
Yeah, man, I haven't been to that place in a long time. Nah, but yeah, I've felt like legit that big sister niche that you were filling. It worked a lot, and we are the beneficiaries. And so thank you for the excellent work that you do. One of the reasons why we shot this episode was to celebrate you, because we think Over 25 has done a tremendous job in like creating content in Kenya and putting us on the map. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right, final question. What is one book, movie?
Oh shoot! I didn't prepare for this.
It was there,
Yeah,
right? Just at the bottom.
at the bottom. Small print. Prepare. What was it? Paperwork. Small print. Yeah. So, what is a book, movie, quote, something you'd recommend for audiences for their self-development? Something you think that would add value to them, or if not, just vibes. What would you like to recommend?
Can Julia answer for me?
Both of you are answering it.
Oh, babe, you don't have answers?
Like the best.
I don't, but we see,
Like you're the book reader.
It could just be a good movie.
I have a lot of recommendations in general, but I haven't prepared for this, guys. I do have a lot of recommendations, but I want to focus on African creatives because we're African creatives. So because of that, my pool is a little bit narrowed because unfortunately, I grew up consuming a lot of American and British TV. But I would say, Aki people will murder me for this because they're like, you should have, why didn't you say this? I'll remember tomorrow. But Grace Ogot, I love her work. She's a writer.
The River and the Source. Is that Grace Ogot?
No, The River and the Source is not Grace Ogot.
What is that?
River and the Source is who? Is it
Yeah, 'cause it-
Ngugi wa Thiong'o? Is that Ngugi wa Thiong'o?
No, just keep going. No.
Okay, so I would Grace Ogot, my two favorite female writers, Grace Ogot and Adichie Chimamanda. Half of a Yellow Sun is my favorite book of. Actually, Purple Hibiscus is my favorite book by her, but the one that really shook me was Half of a Yellow Sun. She's the one who wrote Americana, and Lupita is going to be starring, and that's going to be turned into a film. She's a Nigerian writer.
Really?
Yes.
Oh wow.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Is it the lady that did that TED talk about two sides of a story?
The one with Beyonce's.
Yeah.
Beyonce took it
Yeah.
flawless, yeah.
Chimamanda Adichie Ngozi Adichie Chimamanda, yeah.
Fantastic.
She's amazing. Her mind is brilliant.
We'll try and
Lons.
link it underneath. So,
Yeah, we'll look for it.
Yeah.
I will say, just off the top of my head, because I really do not. What we were talking about earlier, I saw one of the books in this place. I've actually read it. It's called Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell. Really integral, important book to read. And then I would also add, I can't remember the author, but there's a book called Getting to Yes. It basically teaches you negotiation, how to negotiate and get what you want.
I think you gave me that book.
Oh yeah,
This is the one I had it for long, and then you told me, no, babe, I didn't read it.
I'll give it to you.
Yeah, but she gave me that book.
It's small and a really nice book to read. Also, there's this book that I'm seeing everyone talking about right now called Atomic Habits.
I'm in the middle and
I really want to read that, so perhaps you guys can try it too.
Yeah, amazing. Thank you for your time, insights, just vibes. It's been a pleasure, and hopefully you can come back sometime.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Maybe you guys can kind of come over to
You never know.
Yeah, let's do it.
Amazing. Thank you guys for watching, and like, comment, subscribe as always. The links for these guys will be down below too, and we'll see you next week.
Let's go.
Peace.